Hi, welcome to We Want Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9 Reunion Part 1. We start out with December 20th, 2024. 12 hours after the verdict, they interview Karen at her house. And while they're doing that, they're intermittently putting in the body cam footage, which was so hard to watch.
It's hard to watch.
They're Yeah, they're asking her questions, how she's doing. She's crying and she looks like hell wearing her hat. She doesn't care about herself. She says she's worried about her children. I mean, I get that.
It's true. I mean, listen, we make mistakes, we make decisions, we, answer for them, but it's how it affects your family that's
Right.
the hardest part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then we see the ladies getting ready in their dressing rooms and they're talking about Karen. If they've seen Karen, there's no Karen's name on the dressing room doors. At this point, they don't know what's going on. And then they all get out there and Andy starts it out with the elephant in the room is Karen is not coming. And she has checked herself into a private recovery center. Those are his exact words.
It did seem like nobody knew whether or not she was coming. It did seem like they were all surprised that she was not coming.
They were. They definitely were. Ashley said she had a feeling Karen wasn't going to be there. So she brought that picture of Karen.
That was funny.
Yeah. And then on 12/27/24, Karen does her video to the ladies. And she said that she is addressing her taking antidepressants while drinking, and that she's going to be seeking help for that, and that she wanted to give a special thank you, first of all, to Giselle, that what the note she wrote in her flowers meant a lot to her, and then her girl Kay and Jassy all sent her, special notes, and
Candace, who's not even on the show anymore.
Yes, who's not even on the show. And then she said, well, and there's one other really special person. And I thought, it's got to be Wendy. And he's like, Andy Cohen. I was like, oh, I was shocked.
Stunned.
I think everyone up there was stunned that there
everyone
was no
had the
mention.
Same reaction.
Yeah, that there was no mention of Wendy. And then Andy says to Giselle, like, I see you're crying, like, why? And she's like, well, as much as I hate her, I love her. And, she's going through a lot, which I get that. I definitely get that. Also, she said at the end of the video that she's going to be coming back as Karen, not the Grande Dame, which I did think that was interesting. And that's who she should be coming back as.
Well, let's see if she's coming back at all.
Yeah.
But if she does come back, it will be nice for her to come back as Karen Huger because Karen is enough.
Yes, it is. Then Andy asks Wendy, how she felt about that way and about that, apology, how she wasn't mentioned. And she said, well, after she found out from Stacy what Karen was saying behind her back, she certainly felt a way about their friendship. And based on what she's heard and seen from others, Karen is not her friend. I agree with that 100%. And I feel bad for her that she had to come to this realization this way.
Me too. But did you see like Ashley was like, oh, damn, or something? Like, what did you expect her to say? She's absolutely 100% right. That is not her friend. And apparently you and Giselle have been telling her that for years. So why are you so surprised that she just said it?
Right. And Giselle said, I told you who Karen was. And Wendy said, well, I didn't see it for myself and I didn't trust your ass, which I get because her and Giselle were not in a good place.
No, because Giselle and Robin tried to put it out there that Eddie cheated on her.
Right.
Which, was all Robin because Robin was deflecting because Juan can't keep it in his pants.
Right. Exactly.
But Giselle co-signed it. She went along with it. So why the hell would Wendy ever trust her? I mean, I'm so glad they're in a good place now because that did make for a good season. Those two getting along.
I totally agree. Andy brings up the body cam footage and said the viewers had a lot of comments about that, a lot of anger and concern and betrayal.
Especially the guy who lost somebody to a drunk driver, right? He said, I hope you go to jail.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
But it's true.
Sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
then he brings up the fact that Wendy and Giselle made up and that their relationship is in a new place. I liked that Andy asked Wendy that he said to her, you seem a little bit different this season, a little bit lighter. And she said, yeah, resigning from her position and having to fit the conforming to the idea of what a professor should be. She felt that weight lifted off of her so that she could really just be herself. And I can imagine that when you're in a school like that and, you know, they expect you to act and behave and do things a certain, yes. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to live my life like that.
Right. Nor should she have to. She's clearly a very accomplished woman, Wendy. She's very smart, but she's also very attractive and, you know, is on a reality TV show and,
right.
You know, let her live.
She regrets inviting Karen to the White House, which
I was kind of surprised she said that because I almost thought she was going to be like, no, you know, like they all say, like, I don't have regrets, which I don't think they should have regrets. She certainly shouldn't have any regrets because at the time she thought that was her friend.
Right. But after seeing it, that's why she regrets it, you know? I get it. They ask her how Eddie's business is doing, and he says it's booming. And Stacy salutes her husband's business, and Giselle says, well, Stacy, aren't you trying to open up your own Happy Eddie business? And Stacy's like, no. And she's like, well, weren't you talking to somebody and saying that you needed me because I was a celebrity? And Stacy's like, no. Giselle says to Wendy, well, don't be surprised if she comes out with a happy Stacy. And you could see.
That would be really interesting.
And you could see Wendy's face like, and Wendy then said to Stacy, well, if you're going to do this, you better not do it without telling me.
Yep. You could tell there was definitely something to that, the way Stacy responded.
And Yep. And then the viewers were questioning Wendy about requiring her children to have a master's degree to get their trust fund. And I like
this.
I love the way she explained it. She said, well, no, it's kind of, there's different stipulations and different levels. And if they get their master's degree, they get more. If they learn to speak their language, Ibu, they get more. If her daughter joins her sorority, then they get another bonus. And everyone's like, oh, and Andy's
amazing.
Like, Andy's like, I want to do this to get my kid to go to camp.
You've seen the videos, right, of him like driving?
Talking to Ben.
His son's name Ben, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so
and the kid
funny.
is just not. It's like when I used to drive Joe to the Windward Beach camp. He hated it. Every time I see one of those videos, I think of that.
They're so funny. I love watching those videos and listening to him talk to Ben, and Ben, you know, trying to reason with his father. They're hysterical.
Yeah.
Wendy tells Stacy that Karen warned Wendy about Stacy, that she had never told her that before. And she said that Karen said to me, you got to watch out for Stacy because she's very educated and she's very smart. And Giselle said, she is?
That was shady.
That
wasn't really nice. But that's such a dig to the other women. Like Giselle's educated and very smart. Like she, you know, Giselle, where did she go? Howard University, I think she graduated. I mean, come on.
Either Howard or Brown. I don't know which one. Right. But still.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what are you saying, Karen?
Yeah, but what is Giselle saying? I mean, Stacey's like, I have a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they go on to say, which is true, that Karen takes the new girl under her wing. So Stacy says, so you know then I met her at Tally Ho. And they're like, no, we don't doubt that for a second. And Kay jumps in and she's like, well, I have a different place in my heart for Karen because she was there for me and she looked after me when, you know, because she went to the hospital with her when she got, you know, when the fight happened.
And she did. We saw it.
And she did. No, she definitely did. I think it was Giselle that warned her. Yeah, it was Giselle. She said, listen, Kay, she mothers you. And if she can mother you and kind of control you, that's a different relationship. Because I definitely remember her doing that with Ashley. And they did cut to some clips where she's been talking to the new girls.
Yes.
And that is her MO. That's what she does.
Yes.
And because Kay was calling out Stacy for not revealing it until Karen had turned on her. Well, when why Right.
otherwise.
She didn't know. She was just getting to know the girls. Like she just,
Right. Because once it happens to you, you're like, okay, now there's a pattern.
Right. Right.
So why bring it up before that?
Exactly. And then they kind of end out this segment with them saying that Wendy's hard to, it's hard to be friends with Wendy. And Wendy says, listen, it takes a strong woman to be friends with me. When I walk into a room, it's like God sent me there. And that is true. She has a presence and she walks into the room like she owns it. And a lot of women are threatened by that. And I totally get where she's coming from. And good for her.
Absolutely.
She owned it, right?
And why would she want to be any different than that?
Right.
Women strive to be like that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Then we come back from a break and Jassy comes out and Andy congratulates her on her upcoming wedding and asks her if she has a date for her wedding. And she's like, actually, I have an invite if you want to see it, which I was very surprised.
Now, did she give him the invite to invite him to the wedding? I was kind of confused.
No, he gave it to her. She gave it to him so they could see it.
Okay.
And to see that there was a date, what the date was. And then Andy said, are all the ladies here invited? And she said, yes. So, they'll all be invited.
Okay. I like Jassy. I hope they bring her back. Like, I want to see more of Jassy. Because just like Rebecca on New York, like they heavy focused on the fact that, her man had a baby while he was dating her with somebody. Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, okay, you got it out there. That's part of her story. Great. But let's not hyper focus on it. Because it's not, they don't care. So why do they care?
They don't care. She lets us know that Darius is playing for the Dallas Cowboys. But I didn't like the way she answered the question that the viewer had about her being the side chick. So the viewer said, it seems to me that you were the side chick who made his man leave his family. Jassy's response is, I'm not a side chick. And she said, I didn't know that he was with someone else. There was no pictures on his Instagram. And I'm just like, wait, what?
She did also come out and say that the other woman said that they weren't together.
So then you did know about the other woman.
I guess at some point.
Right? Like it just didn't add up.
Maybe she meant in the moment she didn't know about her. I guess at some point she found out about her.
Listen, I think the whole thing is shady.
Yeah,
and I think she should have just owned it so that we could move on from it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like that happened. I feel like if she comes back, it's going to come up again.
It's totally going to come up again.
But if she just said, okay, yeah, I was the side chick. He chose me. Yeah, move on with it. Then that would be done.
Right.
Because the other baby was born first.
Yeah, so I think the older child was around already when she met him, but at some point after she met him and started dating him, another child was born.
Right, but then
by the same mom.
Right.
So clearly there's some kind of relationship established here.
Exactly.
Say you were on a break.
Yeah.
We were on a break.
Yeah.
How about the shade to Mia, though? What did he say to her? I didn't write it down.
He did throw shade
at her.
You're
a professional side chick. Is that what he said? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. He did say that. He did. Yeah.
Whoa.
So then Andy asks Ashley, do you know what I'm going to ask you? And she's like, am I still with Josh? And everyone's like, no.
I honestly thought that's what he was going to ask her too.
Oh, no, I knew he was asking her about her divorce. And everyone else is, So she says it's not finalized, but yesterday on her Instagram, it came out, divorce is finalized. So
very cute pictures too.
She did a whole
reading a newspaper
photo shoot with her announcement. She dropped it on the 17th, and it was actually finalized on February 10th. Her actual divorce was finalized. She is getting child support, but not alimony because of her prenup. And Stacy is getting the opposite. We don't know where hers stands, though, because that question wasn't really asked. And Mia said that she is in the final stages also, but we haven't heard anything yet from Mia, so...
But every single one of them was like, I call bullshit. when Mia said that. They were all calling bullshit.
So then a viewer asks if G&A even sells clothes because the only thing on the website is pictures of Ashley and Giselle. And Giselle tries to explain it, and she does a very poor job. She's like, well, we've pivoted to help the community. And what?
Yeah, but how?
Right.
How?
Exactly. So she didn't really answer the question. Oh, we're reaching out. So Mia's like, oh, so you have like a 501c3, like you have a charity? And they're like, no, we're just, we're just partnering with others.
Yeah, that made no sense.
No, it made no sense.
Yeah, because if you're giving back to the community, then you're not making a profit.
Right. And I don't think that they are. I don't think that they have an official charity, and I don't think that they're doing anything. I think, like she said, like that one thing that she announced, it was someone else's charity for brain tumor awareness or research or whatever it was for. Like the money was going there. It wasn't going to her.
Yeah, and when she was on Watch What Happens Live, one of the shady boot questions was, who's a better business partner, Robin or Ashley? And she said Robin because that business is still going.
Right.
So she kind of said it right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So then Andy is going to let Jassy go. But before she does, Ashley says, wait, I want to ask Jassy a question. What happened with Mia's birthday?
This was so good.
This was really good. Good thing Ashley asked the question.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Stacey would have brought it up at some point, but it was perfect that Jassy was there to answer it because she was involved.
Yes. So apparently Mia invited Stacey and Jassy to a birthday party for her down in Miami.
And it was just the two of them, right? Nobody else was invited.
Nobody else from the group was invited. They both said that they would go. They were both supporting her. And they get down to Miami and they're texting Mia and she's not answering. And then they go to the dinner that was scheduled on the itinerary and they're there for an hour and Mia doesn't show up. So they leave. I don't blame them.
And they said they sat there for an hour. Like, listen, if you're not answering me and then you don't show up for an hour, I'm leaving. Like, if I had heard from you at some point during the day, like, great, can't wait to see you at dinner, I might have hung in there a little bit longer, just have some cocktails. I would have probably been half in the bag by the time we got there, but whatever. But for not hearing from her at all, and then she doesn't show up after an hour, like, come on.
I know. And then Mia's like, well, I reached out to the girls, and it's like, no, you didn't. I didn't talk to you. Well, I sent you a text. What? No. So then Stacey's like, no, I have proof. So she pulls up her text messages and she hands them to Andy. And it's the funny thing is Mia's like, oh, well, show me your proof. Well, are you that dumb, Mia? She had proof.
Yeah, like you know when she texts you, you fucking moron.
I know.
I read texts all the time. I'm like, wait a minute, what did I say? Like, you know me, I worry about everything. Like, I'm always rereading texts, like, to make sure, like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Mess it up. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Andy looks at the text message and he reads the text thread, and it was clear that they said that they were coming.
He's like, champagne, glass, clink, clink.
Clink. Yep.
Balloon.
Yep. And then it even showed when she read the one message, there was even a read receipt on it.
Yeah, like, come on, Mia, turn your fucking read receipts off. What are you, new here?
So then it comes out that the other ladies weren't even invited. And the ones that she does invite, who agree to support her and show up, like, ignores them.
Totally blows them off.
And then she starts crying. Then Mia
That's what she does, though. Well, and I'm glad they called her out on it.
Wendy called her out on it.
Yeah, because she does do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Wendy called her out on it. She's like, you know, this is what you do when your back is up against the wall, you know. And she's giving her, she's like, these are the two you invited. You didn't even invite the rest of us. These two went down there to support you. And now you're crying. Oh, well, I was going through so much. There's so much going on in my life. So much that you can't pick up the phone or text somebody back? No.
Somebody said you were worried about ink. Something about worrying about
Somebody
ink.
said she was with ink or something.
Right, but he must have been down there with her. Listen, he does not seem like the faithful type. I honestly, personally think that he's with her right now for the clout, to be on the show. And he's probably a dog, and he's probably still messing around.
So is she.
For sure. For sure. Well, she's still legally married. So, yeah, either way she is.
Exactly. Or even though she says it's, in the judge's hands. So after this whole thing comes out, Andy says goodbye to the side chick, Jassy. And then they go on a break, and Mia goes into Stacy's dressing room on the break, and she's crying and saying, I've not been a good friend. And Stacy says, listen, it doesn't feel, genuine what you're saying. And I can't receive it now.
For her.
I know.
Way to get a backbone, finally, Stacy.
Yeah, I was glad that she stood up to her. And honestly, that's my last note. I guess that's where we left it, right? Do you have anything after that?
No.
I mean, I think next week is going to be way better because we're going to find out about, more about Stacy and
EJ. Are there only 2 episodes for this reunion?
I don't know. I can't imagine that there'd be any more than 2.
I know, because we're already done with all the Karen stuff.
Right. Like, what else is there to talk about?
And Jaclyn hasn't. I wonder if Jaclyn comes out.
I don't know if Jaclyn, is she behind? Oh, yeah, she is behind me. She's pregnant. She's very pregnant. I think she does come out.
With the same guy? With PP?
I would hope so. But, I saw that she was pregnant in the dress. And then when they were doing flashbacks, Stacy was sticking up for Karen when Jaclyn and Mia were throwing her under the bus. I thought to myself, Jaclyn's got a little belly there. Oh, maybe
she must have been pregnant.
Maybe she was pregnant there.
That's interesting.
I mean, I hope that was the case. I hope I didn't just body shame her. That's horrible.
I don't think you body shamed her. No. She's a beautiful,
she is a beautiful,
stunning,
girl.
Fit girl.
Yes, yes, she is. Yes, but she's pregnant. So I wonder why she didn't come out. Because maybe they'll bring her out separately.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're both friends of.
Well, they're probably going to talk about the Mia Gordon, fake. He took the kids to another state, and I don't know where they are storyline.
Right.
So maybe they'll bring her out then.
Yeah, I think that would make more sense.
Yeah. Speaking of baby bumps, let's real quick talk about Summer House.
Yeah.
And then let's real quick talk about Southern Charm, because Sienna is a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Summer House. We've got
timeline or rundown of what's been going on, like how she started on the show. I'm like, girl, was it a half hour, 40 minutes? We, thank God, didn't have to sit there through that, but they kept showing the time, and I'm like, oh my God, another fucking 10 minutes?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I actually did take notes on Summer House, just the first one. I don't know that I'll be doing it again, but they started out 2 months after the reunion. They started filming.
2 months?
Yep. So May 3rd, 2024 was the reunion, and then July 3rd was their first day filming. It was 2 months.
It's interesting to me that why would they do the reunion in May when they stopped filming in the fall?
Because that by the time it finished airing.
It has to air. I always forget that. I always feel like they do the reunion right when they're done filming. You're right. It had to air.
It had to air. And 2024, do we have Olympics? No, because that was in the summer. I don't know, but it ended in May. So May 3rd was the reunion, and then 2 months to the day later. So Paige and Sierra are in the SUV going down together, and Sierra had done Traders, and so she didn't even really know what was going on, wasn't in the loop of things.
Right.
Because that's a 3-week commitment, or it could be a 3-week commitment, but so far she's still on.
Is she still on, Sierra?
Yeah, she's still on.
Is Dolores?
Dolores is still on too. Yep.
Okay.
And so is Tom.
Sandoval.
Yep, Tom Sandoval is still on too. So then we see Amanda and Kyle, Jesse and West go down together in the car, and they get there first, and they go to clean the rooms. And first they have separate rooms, and then they decide they're going to room together. They couldn't get it together, but they did decide that they were going to room together. We find out Jesse has a clean cancer check, and he's excited for the summer. West is worried about Sierra because he has not seen her since.
He should be worried about Sierra.
Yep. The day after the reunion.
He shouldn't even fucking be there. Bravo. By the way.
Yeah, I didn't really like him. I didn't really think he brought much to the whole franchise, but
Well, the most endearing part about him was how infatuated with Sierra he was.
yeah,
Because after Austin,
right.
we just want to see this girl win, for crying out loud.
Yeah, exactly. He said that so he met with her after the reunion, and she was saying, like, you didn't even say anything. Like, you said nothing at the reunion. He's like, well, I was caught off guard. And she's like, well, he's like, it's been 7 months. I'm like, 7 months? I guess 7 months since they broke up.
Well, maybe when they met up after the reunion. So maybe by this time it was June.
No, but he's saying it's 7 months in July since they broke up. So she should be at least cordial to him, even though, you know.
So they dated all the way through the new year?
No. So 7 months.
November.
No. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the two new girls show up, Lexi and Bailey. Lexi is a model, and Bailey.
She looked very familiar.
She did?
She looked so familiar to me. So now I don't know if I've seen her in ads. She's a model, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. And Bailey is a nanny and an influencer.
She's cute.
She's cute. And Jassy and West give them a tour of the house. And then Amanda and Kyle arrive. And Amanda knows Lexi because she's met her before at an event. And also Bailey, she's met before too. So then Sierra and Paige arrive, and West is very nervous. You could see it, and Sierra goes up to him and is like, how you doing? And like pats him on the chest. Like,
he tries to give her a hug.
Yeah, and she's just like pats him. Yeah. And she's talking about how when she got back from Scotland, I guess she was barraged with text messages because he had done a New York Times article. I didn't even know about that.
He's such a douche.
He really is.
A douche.
He really is. And I don't blame her. I would be pissed.
And any girl who dates him now is a bigger douche. Just stay away from him. Let him live a lonely, long life.
Stop being so mean.
He's such a douche, though.
Oh, you're so funny. Then the boys are talking about if Carl and Lindsay will hug when they get there. I'm like, and then they just like, no, they don't even go to weddings together.
Hug.
I know. And
Carl. That was hard.
And they didn't even know yet at this point that Lindsay was pregnant.
Right.
And then Lindsay and Gabby arrive and they meet the new girls, and she's talking to Sierra how it feels weird to be back there, which I don't blame her. It would feel weird to me too.
Sure.
Jassy makes a shot for everyone and they all do a cheers, and we find out that Carl's not coming till the next day. Amanda arranged for Private Hibachi to come to the house. And did you see they're from New Jersey?
God, I wonder if it was the same people we had at the Veshies.
I was going to ask you that. It said it on their back. It said something New Jersey.
I'll have to rewatch it and see if it was the same company, because I have it in my text who it was.
Okay, yeah. I'd be curious to see if it was.
Yeah, that's funny.
So Sierra and Paige are sharing a bedroom. Gabby and Lindsay are talking about making the announcement, and because Gabby's in on it, she knows that she's expecting.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, Gabby, please stop being Lindsay's spokesperson. Just let Lindsay do the crazy, ridiculous things that Lindsay's going to do. You just stay out of it. Like, Gabby's like her lapdog.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have Danielle.
Yeah,
so
like
she has nobody really. I mean, just
fucking, if you want to make an announcement. You got to have Gabby go out. And by the way, Gabby looks fucking amazing, though.
She
the
does.
Pilates is working.
She does.
But why does Gabby have to go out and organize this whole thing?
Yeah, she's going to organize the toast in the living room. Wes sits down next to Lindsay, asks if she was drinking. He said, everybody thinks that you're pregnant. She's like, yeah, I know. I saw it, like the tabloids. And then she starts with my personal journey and 8 years. I'm like, oh my God, are you
kidding? It went on forever.
These poor girls.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then she holds up the ultrasound that she's pregnant on the big poster board size,
I think it was a canvas. I think she had a canvas made up.
My God.
Which, looking back, it's not a terrible idea.
Well,
I kind of wish I had canvases in my... Well, I guess I could still do it. I still got those crazy
Yeah, but I
black
know.
and white pictures.
What are you going to do with it now?
I don't know.
No.
I'm not going to do anything with it.
That ship has sailed.
Sure.
So she announced that she's 18 weeks pregnant, which that is very pregnant. And then they realized...
It's over 4 months. So when we're at the 3-month mark, we don't say weeks anymore. You could say months now.
Well, I think she was obviously trying to downplay it. And she was pregnant at the reunion. So that's what they're like, wait a second, because the reunion was only 8 weeks ago. It was only 8 weeks ago.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I know, that is crazy. And then she shows you what she did about drinking at the reunion. How funny is that?
She poured out Cristal?
Yeah, that's what Gabby said. She poured it down the drain.
I mean, what are you doing? You can't have it like that. You can't have it like that where you're just pouring Cristal down the sink.
No. So she says that her new man is a doctor. His name is Turner, and he's not on social media.
And by the way, there were rumors out there that they broke up. But when she was on Watch What Happens Live, he was there with her.
He was there with her, but we didn't see him. And people are saying she put that rumor out there because Summer House was starting to get people.
Sense. She would do that.
She would, because that's a PR thing to do, and that's what she used to do.
Yeah,
that's what she used to do.
100% would do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, oh, makes perfect sense. So while they're, then she goes upstairs and they're all outside waiting for the hibachi. And as soon as she goes upstairs, she makes it Instagram official before she even comes back down. You know, she had her post all ready to go and she sends it. And I'm thinking, my gosh, that's how Carl learns about it, is by the Instagram post. Like, that's horrible.
But I don't blame her. Like,
no,
I don't
blame.
Think she owed him any phone call or like she didn't know him anything.
No,
and I'm not on either side. And I don't think
agree.
Carl did anything wrong, and I don't think Lindsay did anything wrong. Although our friend that we met the other night did think Carl did something wrong.
She did? What did she think he did wrong?
Yeah, I mean, she thinks Carl was a dog.
I don't think he should have done it on
the whole
TV.
thing behind Lindsay's back. He talked to Kyle. He talked to producers. He talked to everybody but Lindsay.
He did.
I don't think he should have broken up with her on camera, quite honestly.
No. Oh, listen, the way Bravo works now, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because they'd have just picked the cameras back up.
You're right. That's the new formula. Right.
That's what they do. So we'll learn a little bit about Lex. She started modeling at age 10 and she's 26 now. Sierra's sitting there talking to Lindsay and she keeps talking about we. And Sierra's like, who is we? And she's like, Turner. We met 3.5 years ago and he reached out last December. So she's trying to figure out the timeline because they broke up in November, Carl and Lindsay, right? Or was it September? No, it was September.
She said they broke up in September, but the wedding was supposed to be in November.
November, right. They broke up in September. The wedding was supposed to be in November. And now July 3rd, she's 18 weeks. So, I mean, you know, it works. It was quick, but it works.
It was quick. I mean, maybe she was pregnant within 2 months of dating him, right?
Right. Yes. And he reached out in December, but she didn't actually start seeing him until January. She kind of was like, not really engaging with him. Jassy asked Lexi if she describes herself as ditz.
Why would he ask her that? That was so crazy. Listen,
he said why he did it.
I really like Jassy, and I think that, you know, God forbid, but when you go through cancer, it's probably like, what the fuck? Like, this is me. Like, these are the crazy shit questions I'm going to ask you, so answer them or not.
Right. Right. Well, he said, like, he likes to kind of see how far he can push the line, and
then
yeah. And he apologized when she said she was offended, which I don't blame. You know, I'd be offended too. Like, what?
Well, yeah, and I think it was good that she said she was offended because, you know, me, I would have been like, you know, I wouldn't have said anything. So it was good that she was like, yes, I am offended by that.
Yeah. So then after dinner, they decide they're going to go out, right? But Lexi and Bailey stay behind and they're cleaning up and they're talking about Jassy. I thought that was interesting. The two new girls didn't go out the first night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we flash back to Paige and Lindsay talking 6 years ago. And Paige says, ideally, I meet someone and get married and have a baby by age 30. Thought that was interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. And I think that we're going to see more of the whole Craig Paige thing play out this summer.
I do too. But unfortunately, what we're going to see is Bravo's spin on it. And I don't know if you saw, Craig did an interview. Still has not said one negative thing about Paige. He will not say a negative thing. God bless him. But he's basically said, what you're seeing is the trials that we went through. Like, we had really, really good times, but you're not going to see that. But we were together for 3.5 years. We're both coming out of this relationship as better people than we were when we went into it. And it's a breakup, and, you move on. Like, he's being so good about it. And what I did notice, because I had made a comment, I think we were texting one day over it, and I was like, this is fake. This is bullshit. Look at, he's smiling through the whole thing. Remember his first post? He was smiling, but he acknowledged, he said, what I'm learning about myself is that I smile during awkward conversations. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad he said that, because I was like, what the fuck's he smiling for?
And I was like,
supposedly
no,
just got your heart broken.
Yeah, no, he did get his heart broken. Listen, this is what I think. First of all, I have not heard her say one bad thing about him.
Yes, she did. She said that he was texting 2 other girls.
I never heard her say that.
It's a coming attraction. She's going to say it
on Summer House
when cameras pick back up after Summer House ends.
Okay, because I haven't seen her say that. And I will say that what I heard her say on the podcast is that she had nothing bad to say about him. There was no reason for the breakup. And, he's a good guy.
See, this is the problem. So you're listening. I don't listen to her podcast. You're listening to her podcast, what she's actually saying in the now.
Right.
But Bravo is putting out there that she's going to run him through the mud, saying he was texting 2 other girls.
No, that's not good.
No, I know. That's what I mean. Like, Bravo's setting the narrative for their breakup, and it's ridiculous.
I don't think that he would do that.
I don't either. And he actually said in that interview, I think, one day you're going to see Paige backpedal on that, because it's not true.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I know Sierra and Amanda and obviously Hannah, but she's not on the show, all have her back, as I would expect them to, because they're her friends.
Yeah. What else are they going to do?
And I know that Austin and Shep are going to have Craig's back.
Of course.
And I guess Patricia as well.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, your friend breaks up with her boyfriend, and he could be the best guy in the world, and you're going to be like, he was a douchebag. You were too good for him.
Right. Exactly.
It's just what you do.
That's what you do. That's how you protect your friends.
Yes. So they can, they both have to take that aside.
Yeah.
I just wish that they would both say less. And I don't think, like you said, like, they're not saying too much, but they should just say nothing right now, because Bravo is running with this, and it's just going to cause heartache for both of them if they read into what Bravo's doing.
Yeah, I agree. Then we see, which we kind of knew, Jassy really likes Lexi.
Yeah.
I mean, he was sitting out at the pool talking to the guys. He's like, I showed up here single, and now I'm leaving with a girl. And Wes just like, wait, what?
I was like, don't tell her you love her. He's like, I think I might. That's so funny. She's a really cool girl. You met her 5 hours ago.
I know.
Hey, sometimes you just know.
That's right.
I wonder if they're still, like, talking. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Then we see Gabby comes home. So she sleeps out the first night. She's seeing some international guy who's 30 minutes away, and good for her.
Yeah, because according to her, American guys suck.
I mean, I've never
Listen, that could
dated.
be her experience, guys. Get your shit together. Bring your A game.
That's it. Then everyone's out at the pool, and then we see Carl walks in the house. Everyone's outside, but he's like talking to the producers. He's nervous about seeing her. He's still trying to process things, doesn't know what to say to her. And it's awkward. It's really awkward. I feel bad for him. And then I feel bad when he walks in and sees that big canvas or whatever it is of the baby, the ultrasound. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. I felt really bad for him.
But we don't see it because that's pretty much where it ends. That's where the
Yeah.
episode ends. And then we see 6 months later, the cameras pick up after Paige and Craig break up. I didn't write any details about that, but
Yeah, that's what she says, though. They showed her saying it.
that's
He
crazy.
was texting 2 other girls while they were dating.
I don't believe it. I don't
I don't
believe
believe it either.
Then on Watch What Happens Live, Lindsay and Sierra were on, and behind the bar was editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan,
She was young,
Willow Bennett.
kind of immature.
I thought so too.
Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
And I'm not even going to go there, but I didn't see Cosmopolitan editor energy or style.
Me neither.
I mean, unless I missed it.
And I'm no fashionista, but
I was like,
doesn't she
okay.
have people to do that for? Like,
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. Okay, so then there were some polls. I wrote down the polls. Is there a universe where West and Sierra will rekindle their relationship?
God, no.
91% of the people said no. Is Kyle a changed man? 61% of the people said no. And according to them, Amanda said no.
Exactly. Well, and we know what just came out. There's a rumor that Kyle cheated.
Cheated.
Cheated or was talking to somebody,
I think
trying
cheated.
to get a girl's number.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
something.
Obviously, as a married man, any of that is not good. But I don't know if they said he physically cheated or if he just attempted to get somebody's number. I forget. But whatever it is, it's not great.
No, it's not great. Do Jassy and Lexi make a cute couple?
Absolutely.
So 41% said yes, 59% said no.
Wow.
On
I
a
wonder
scale,
why.
well, I think she's
young.
well, she's 26, he's 31, right?
Oh.
It's not a huge age difference, but I think that she is more young-minded, if that's even possible.
Yeah, and he was a little bit of an F-boy last summer, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that too.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you to find out Paige and Craig broke up? So Sierra said 1. Lindsay also said 1. And the poll, the viewers said 5. We were surprised.
I was surprised.
Yeah, you and I. That's what I'm saying. You and I were
sure.
surprised. We were like, oh my gosh, but we didn't see Summer House or we didn't,
Yeah. Did you see that Amanda dropped her bathing suit line today?
Oh, I did
Remember
not.
They were talking about it?
I knew it was coming. I didn't know it dropped today.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
It was on her Instagram.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, cute stuff.
The next question was reaction to seeing Boston Rob banished from the castle. 44% were happy, 56% were sad. The next question was which Bravo celebrity will go the furthest now on the Traitors? Either Sierra Miller, Dolores, or Tom. Dolores won it at 49%, and then Sierra with 40%, and then Tom with 6%. Yeah, I would like to see Dolores win it.
I hope Dolores wins.
Yeah. So Lindsay's man Turner's there in the back. Andy asks Sierra and Lindsay how their relationship was, and they said, no, they're good. And then Lindsay started to say something about traitors, but then Sierra said she had nothing to do with casting. Now, I know it was rumored that Dorinda got her thrown off of traitors, but according to Dorinda did an interview on one podcast. I heard her talking about this exact subject, and she is vehemently denying it, that she had no idea who Lindsay was, never met Lindsay, didn't know she was pregnant.
That's interesting.
I thought that was interesting
too.
Why
would Dorinda know who Lindsay was, honestly?
Right. And how did it come? And the other thing I heard was, and again, this doesn't make sense either. I think Dorinda said this, though, so that may be why it makes no sense. Supposedly, but if it was right, they did it after the reunion and Lindsay was pregnant. We already know that. Dorinda was saying that Lindsay was pregnant and she had a miscarriage. And then this is a different pregnancy. What?
Don't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, she did have a miscarriage with Jason.
Yeah, exactly. But again, why would Dorinda tell casting that she was pregnant?
How would Dorinda know?
How would Dorinda know?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Why is Lindsay trying to hide that if she's going to be away I don't know. I don't know what's true in this whole story, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I mean, honestly, I don't trust Dorinda.
No, I don't either. Because what could have happened was Lindsay was cast for the show, found out she was pregnant, told the producer of the show, like, listen, I'm pregnant. I don't know how this is going to go, especially given the fact that she had already had a miscarriage.
Right.
I'm sure she was nervous to be away out of the country. Maybe Dorinda got wind of it from a producer, and that's how she got wrapped into the whole thing.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm sure it always comes out. The truth always comes out.
It sure does.
So supposedly on Jeff Lewis, it came out. I don't know if this is true, but Shahs of Sunset is doing kind of like a reboot, like
New York.
They said like Vanderpump, but that doesn't make sense. Where they're going to be bringing on some old people and some new people. There'll be a mixture.
I thought Reza, Gigi, and MJ were filming.
Yes, I think that is the case. And I guess there'll be additional cast members included, which I'm here for. I love Shahs.
I'm here for that, for sure.
I really would like Family Karma to come back too, because I loved Family Karma.
Yeah, I never watched that, but I'm sure I would have loved that too.
You would have loved it. And I was listening to Alex Baskin's interview with Denise Richards today.
I can't wait.
It's going to be so good just by listening to Denise talk about it. It's going to be so good. I can't wait for that one to come.
I watched her first reality TV show years ago. Did you?
Didn't. No, I didn't. I did not.
My God, it was fucking great when her daughters were little and her father was there and she was trying to set her father up because her mother had passed away. And I mean, that was before. I'm going to have to look to see what year. I don't know if it was before Housewives. It might have been before Housewives. I'm trying to think of how old her daughters are. I do believe it was before Kardashians.
Wow.
It was great. It was a great show. She makes good TV, Denise Richards.
She does make good TV, and I can't wait to watch this show after hearing her interview with him. And I saw, while I was scrolling through Facebook, Alex Baskin is on Two Teas in a Pod with Tamra.
Okay, while Teddy recovers.
I guess. And I really didn't realize how young he looks. Like, he's a young guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. When I saw him, it's not what I was expecting after hearing his podcast a couple times. I hadn't seen him before.
Yeah.
And he did do that one with Mo and PK. Yeah. I actually like his podcast.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was watching because, Beverly Hills is on tonight. So earlier while I was cooking dinner, I had last week's episode on or whatever. And when Dorit starts talking about PK and the whole 10-year thing, and then Kyle says, Mo's bringing Portia on their trip, and then he's meeting up with PK later in Saint-Tropez. And I was thinking, I wonder if PK, he and Mo are very close. And, Mo's separated, living his best life. And PK was like, oh, maybe that's what I should be doing right now. I wonder if that was a catalyst for him.
It could be. I mean, it certainly could be. When you're looking at your friend who has been in this relationship for a long time.
Yeah.
And things are looking good. And you've got this out now since you're now sober and you're seeing things differently. And people are looking at you differently.
Mm-hmm.
It could definitely be. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
I think tonight's going to be a good episode. I think it's going to be where Sutton and Dorit go at it again.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Why are you yawning?
I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm always tired. I have a sickness. I really need blood work. We're going to Atlantic City Sunday night, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
Oh my goodness. We're going to have to figure this out because we have more episodes to film too. I guess we just have Beverly Hills, right?
We just have Beverly Hills, and then if we want to do like a Southern Charm, Summer House, Southern Hospitality.
Do we have time? What time is it? Do we have time?
Menagerie. No, we're almost at an hour.
All right, so now.
We'll just mention real quick how awkward the scene with Sienna was in the Bahamas with Shep, where she wouldn't even stay in the room with him while he changed.
So weird. I mean, weird.
This girl cannot get away from him fast enough.
And he doesn't see it.
I don't know, because some said that she told him they need to have a conversation, I guess, about their relationship. And he said, no, but we have to do it on camera.
On camera.
Did you say that?
I heard that. Somebody said that. Maybe it was Gina. I don't know. Somebody said that. I did hear that. And I'm like, well, yeah, because he's smart and he wants this on camera. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Especially since everything else at this point has been on camera. So maybe maybe he does realize it, or his friends keep saying to him, like, she's not into you.
Right.
She's really not.
Right. And ew, she was into Whitney? Look.
No, she wasn't into Whitney either.
But she matched with him on Ryers, or she tried to.
But why do you think? The same reason. I mean, why? Because this is who she is.
Yeah.
She's a gold digger.
She sure is.
She's a gold digger.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It's really sad.
Oh, I don't know if you saw the thing on, I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, but they were talking about Shep's house. Like, why does Shep have all this money and he lives in this little house on the beach? Did you see anything about that?
I did.
And then did you see it's actually an Airbnb?
I was going to say, I'm sure this is a house staged for him to film in, and this is not where he lives.
It is not where he lives, because then they showed you the Airbnb and it was all booked. You couldn't reserve it, but everything is, the surfboard in the kitchen. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is the Airbnb.
Because do you remember when Olivia's brother passed away and Shep offered his home as a place for her family to come stay because they lived on the same road?
Yes.
Now we see Shep's house from the outside, and then you see Olivia's beautiful, they're clearly not on the same road where Shep is filming and where Olivia was living. So I think he was talking about his other home.
Yeah, that's probably it. And I'm just like,
he doesn't want people to know where he lives.
I didn't watch this. Has he ever been in this little house before? Like,
this is always where, from what maybe not season 1.
Oh, so he's always filmed in this house.
He's always had this house. I mean, for I would say at least 3 or 4 years. I'd have to go back and watch season 1 from the beginning, because they've had quite a few seasons by now.
Okay. All right. So that's interesting. Because I didn't know. I was like, oh, is this a different house? But I did see that.
Taylor and he, they filmed there.
Yeah. So it's an Airbnb. He just rents it to film. Good for him.
I thought that when I heard that. I'm like, he's not. This is just to film.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I'm surprised that Patricia and Whitney.
I think Patricia's home, like New York City was a character in Sex and the City. So I think Patricia's home is a character in Southern Charm. Yeah. Because she's been hosting them for their boys' dinners and since season 1.
Okay. So and I
you
guess
best
it is
come
a part
correct to Patricia's home.
Did it get officially sold to Whitney? Is it his now?
I think it is his now.
Did he have to buy it? Couldn't she just transfer it to his name?
I'm sure he paid her like $1.50.
Oh, right. I mean, you don't have to buy it. Like, what is wrong with people?
I know. It's the upkeep that's the expensive part, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure the taxes are pretty high. I love Charleston. I really think we should plan a trip to Charleston.
I'm in. I'm so in. I definitely want to go to Charleston.
I would love to go there. I would love to go to both of Leva's places. Mm-hmm. And I love the little straw market there. And I can't think of the name of the street, that like cobblestone street there.
Yeah.
I want to go to Charleston. We have to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, we got to plan a trip. I got to plan a trip with my kids first, because Joe keeps asking if we can go on vacation somewhere where he can actually get on an airplane.
He doesn't want to get on an airplane. An airplane just crashed again yesterday.
Don't even remind me, because Tessa's going to LA on her spring break to visit my nephew Anthony next month. And I'm a fucking nervous wreck over it.
Okay.
Nervous wreck. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I was thinking we could drive to Charleston.
I will drive to Charleston.
It's only like 12 or 13 hours. We could do it.
We could definitely do it. All
right. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. Bye.
Bye.